Hi everyone, how are you my dear children? In last lecture we have discussed why carbon brush is used in motors. As you people can see, we are going to start with again a new subtopic of magnetic effects of electric current, that is your electromagnetic induction. Before jumping into the studies directly, I just want to say something. The kids who are really following my videos, I think you all know I am simultaneously uploading 9th class videos also. I suggest, maybe you will follow or not follow, that is your take. But as a teacher, I suggest kids who are having time, please go through the 9th class videos also quickly. No need to learn, but just refresh your memories of 9th class. Why I am saying so, the kids who want to pursue for the competitive exam, it will be helpful for you people, because your exam is this time bit late. It is in May, so you have ample amount of time. You can utilize your time, those who are preparing sincerely for higher exams. I am having plan ki I will complete the 9th and 10th by March, because after this chapter only light chapter is there for 10th, and 9th also 2 more chapters, motion chapter is there. So I will complete by March. I am trying my best to complete it by March, so that I will quickly move to 11th and 12th, and I will start uploading, because this time NEET exam is in July. Till now update it will be in July, and some kids, they are going to big coaching centers, but still having some problems with the concept that I have observed. And not exactly I have observed, actually, since I am teaching these kids, I know where they are lagging behind. So I want to address those things. So that's why my aim is to help those kids who are interested to pursue. So if you are interested to pursue either in NEET or engineering, so please follow 9th class videos also. Just go through it. Okay, so it will be helpful when you start uploading 11th and 12th. Okay. So let us start with this electromagnetic induction. Till now what we have studied, children? Till now we have studied current produces magnetic field. Current carrying conductor, as you people know, if there is a current carrying conductor, the magnetic field will be there around the current carrying conductor. Till now we have studied that. Today we are going to see the reverse. Is it going to be true? Should the reverse be also true? I mean, can we use magnet to get the current? You can think in that line. Actually, before us also, so many scientists, so many great physicists, they have given a thought on this. And Faraday, I think everybody heard of his name. Faraday had worked on this concept. Which concept? Reverse should be true. That means magnets should produce current. So he has started working on that concept, and finally he has discovered that. What he has discovered? The magnet can be used to produce current. Then how? We'll see now. What he has done, he has used simply a coil. This is your coil, and he has connected the coil through a galvanometer. What is this galvanometer? And both are connected in series. What is the function of the galvanometer? It is used to detect the presence of current. If galvanometer, this needle is this is your pointer. Okay, I think you people have already seen voltmeter and ammeter and what is their function. Galvanometer will not measure anything like voltmeter and ammeter. It will just detect the current, if current is there in the circuit or not. If the needle is deflecting from zero position, that means current is there, either to left or to right, it doesn't matter. Hope I am clear with the function of the galvanometer. If pointer is at 0, then no current. If it deflects either to left or right, then current is present. So what he has done, this is your circuit, and a magnet is over here, north, south. This is your magnet. You know around this magnet there will be magnetic field. We have already studied. So what he has observed, when he kept this magnet near this coil, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Then again he thought something has to be there. How? We should get current. So what he has done, he has moved this magnet towards the coil. Then he observed there is a deflection in galvanometer. So when he moved the magnet either towards the coil or away from the coil, he has observed the deflection in galvanometer. That means current is produced. Exactly what we will tell over here, current is induced because of the moving of this magnet. We have changed the position of the magnet. In previous case, magnet is not moving, it is lying like that. That means magnet is stationary. So when magnet is stationary, there is no current induction. But when we are moving magnet towards the coil or away from the coil, then we are getting deflection in the galvanometer. That means current is induced. So moving the magnet means what is actually happening? Actually, you know magnetic field is around the magnet. That means your magnetic field lines is changing with respect to your coil. Can you people make out? Suppose this is your coil. See, this is your coil. Now when you are getting your magnet over here, so this is your magnetic field like this. See children. So when you move the magnet towards this, so more magnetic field will link in the coil. Or when you move the magnet away from the coil, then this linking of the magnetic field will reduce. That means there is change in linking of the magnetic field lines. Okay? Then only your current is induced. Current is induced means there has to be voltage. That means voltage is induced and that is responsible for your current flow. Is it clear children? So this is your Faraday's law. What is this Faraday's law? If there is change in magnetic field linked to the coil, voltage is induced, which is responsible for the induction of current. So electromagnetic induction, that's why. You are inducing current in that. Shortcut EMI, not bank EMI. Okay? Clear? Okay. Now, he has done so many, you can say different observations actually he has. First what he has done, suppose coil. So we'll go step by step children. So this is your galvanometer. Okay. First he has introduced north pole, south pole. So north pole, he has moved the north pole towards the coil. Then what he has observed, there is a deflection in galvanometer, suppose towards right. Okay. Now in the second case, this magnet now entered into the coil. Then what will happen? Again he has observed there is no deflection in the galvanometer. Why? Because now this magnet is not moving. Okay? The magnet enter inside the magnetic field. So no change in magnetic field. That's why no deflection in current. Clear children? Then what he has done, again after this, he has moved the magnet in opposite direction. That means away from the coil. Away from the coil. This is your galvanometer. So what he has done, north, south. Now he moved the magnet away from the coil. Again he has observed deflection, but this time in which way? It is in the opposite direction. That means current direction is getting reversed, but current is induced. When it is moving towards the coil, see the deflection. When it is moving away from the coil, see the deflection. Okay? So that means deflection in opposite direction. So again current is induced. Then again what he has done in the next condition, suppose this now north pole is going towards the coil, he has changed the position of the magnet. Now south pole is going towards the coil in next condition. Again he has seen the deflection, but this time it is in left direction, and here when south pole is moving away from the coil just in reverse way, again he has seen the deflection in galvanometer. Is it clear, children? That means when you are moving the magnet towards or away from the coil, that is current induced, and the direction will be different if you are entering the south pole or moving away the south pole, if you are entering the north pole or moving away the north pole. Then what again he has done? He has kept this magnet stationary. He has changed the position of the coil. In similar fashion, he has observed the deflection in current. That means if there is relative motion between these two, coil and magnet, there is deflection in galvanometer, and that means current is induced. Clear, children? So what are the conclusion? He has finally found out Faraday's. So first conclusion is the galvanometer shows deflection when there is current flow. Okay? And the direction of induced current is reversed if the direction of the relative motion between the coil and magnet is reversed. Already I have told. Okay? Another thing, we are going to see this thing in my next lecture. If the magnet and the coil rapidly move with respect to each other, that means depends on the speed. If you are moving slowly towards your coil, or coil is moved slowly towards your magnet, then there will be current but less current. If it moves more rapidly, that means if speed increases, then your deflection increases. So your deflection increases. Clear, children? Deflection will increase if it is moved more speedily. So these are the observations, you can say conclusion of this Faraday's law. And more explanation to this Faraday's law I will explain in my next lecture. I think this much for today. It will be otherwise very lengthy video, and I know you people is very bored about it, watching these lengthy videos. So today I am going to stop here. So we got the fair idea of what is Faraday's law and what he has done and what conclusion we got from this Faraday's law. In my next lecture, we are going to again discuss in more detail this Faraday's law, Fleming's right hand rule, and very important Lenz law. It is not there in 10th syllabus, but it will help you to understand this thing very easily. You are going to again study this thing in 12th, but it is really easy. So I want to share the Lenz law with you people also, so that you can understand why this reverse direction of deflection and the current is happening. Okay? Okay. Thank you for watching, children. Enjoy and stay safe. Thank you.